Hi guys, welcome to Fun Fiction Fridays, and guess what? I'm here. I'm not in the car. I think everything's working. It looks like it's all working. So hopefully this one goes off without a hitch. I apologize for not being here last week. I was at the amazing Moonlight Magnolias conference in Georgia, and I got to speak to writers and meet a lot of writers, and it was just fantastic because I tell you, I have missed the in-person conference experience a lot. So if you're here, be sure you say hello. And if you're just watching the replay, you can still comment and ask questions and things. And if I don't answer it right then and there, or don't have a chance while we're on the live stream, I will certainly answer it later. So either replay people or Facebook Live or YouTube Live people, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad that you are, because it really does make the writing go better. I was just saying that in a video that I'm going to put out probably in a week or two about how, for me, even finding the time to write is difficult. But these sprints, I kind of look forward to them because I get to work on the fiction that I put off all week because I'm working. I'm working on other stuff, usually other people's stuff. So getting to do the sprints with you guys gives me that motivation to get up and start doing my own stuff. So we've had some really great Fun Fiction Fridays sprints before. We have lots of new people that have been tuning in. And don't be shy. Feel free to say hello in the comments and ask a question if you have one, because I'm here to just answer whatever questions you have in between. The one other thing I wanted to mention before we got started was that the third character video dropped, and I will also at some point during this live stream drop a link to the character profile mini ebook that I created for you guys, and there will be a plot one coming up. I've created the book. I can give you guys a preview of what it looks like. It's just a little like planning ebook, little tiny one, and we're going to do external plot and then internal plot so that it's easier to grasp all those concepts one at a time. So that's coming. It's not available yet, but it's coming very soon when the video drops next week. So let's do our first 10-minute sprint, and I'll put on the timer. How it works is I put on the timer, I play a little music, and everybody writes for 10 minutes. And then when we come back, we all talk, and if nobody has any questions, then we just move right into the next sprint. So let me get my timer ready here. Set on 40 minutes. That'd be a long sprint. I don't know if you guys have ever sprinted in track, but that's a long time to do it. All right, and let's get started. Go play. It's not playing, so it's not playing, but it will in a second. Here we go. Okay, guys, that was 10 minutes. I didn't get that much written. I've been working on the book that I do a lot of times when we're here, but I didn't have time to kind of think about it this week. It's been a really busy week since I got back from Georgia, and so I didn't have that like little bit of planning time that I need just so I know where I'm going with it. And I didn't even have time to reread it so I could get immersed in the scene again. So I don't expect to be super productive today. But then again, not every day is. There are days when the writing is hard and days when the writing is easy, and you just got to show up at the page every day, and it will eventually get there. Since this is my fun project, it's not necessarily something I work on every day, as much as I would love to, because the fun projects are way more fun than the not fun ones. Yeah, I just can't. I literally can't yet. Eventually, yes, hopefully. So I wanted to share with you guys the link to the character planning guide, which is a lot like the plotting planning guide. That is on my website. That is a free community that you guys can join. There's no membership fee or anything like that. If you are a member of the masterminds, you do get behind the scenes access to that community, and you do get to ask me questions about your manuscript in between our mastermind meetings. So that's the only part of that that is paid for right now. Everything else is free. So all of these little mini ebooks and the extra handouts and things like that that I can't like just throw up on my channel, I have them all here on that community page. So you just create an account and boom, it's free, and stay as long as you like. We also have a book club there. We just did All the Light We Cannot See was our book for October, because there's going to be a Netflix series on that. And I'm super excited to compare the two, compare the book and compare the Netflix series. I saw the trailer for the Netflix series and it looks like it's going to be really, really good. And at least from the trailer, it seemed to stick pretty close to the book, which was an awesome book. And also I have a review coming up for The Other Emily with Dean Koontz. It's as part of my bestseller formula series, although that one was not a New York Times bestseller as far as I could find in my research. It didn't ever hit the list, but a lot of Dean Koontz's books have. So I talk about what element of his books do kind of make him so popular with readers. So there's lots going on all the time over here at Writing Compelling Fiction. Literally check out that resource that I just posted up there, and you'll also find handouts on doubt and self-doubt and motivation and a lot of other things. And if you went to my workshops on conflict and brain map and everything, I think those resources are still there for one more day. I think that's it. I think that's all I had to talk to you guys about in between. So let's do another 10-minute sprint. And again, if you have any questions when you're watching, just drop them in there. If you want to talk about plot or character or whatever, just drop a comment and I will definitely talk to you about that. It's your one chance to pick my brain while we're here live. So here's 10 more minutes. see, that wouldn't be a typical live stream without at least one screw up. So yeah, I did accidentally block my camera there for a second. So I got a little bit more written there, and I discovered a couple things that I didn't know about the book. I really love when that happens, when you're just writing along and you're like, oh, this is a great plot point. But I'm really getting to that point, become about a third of the way through, where I've got to take some serious time to sit back and think about it and plan a little bit more, so I've got my plot figured out, which is what I tell you guys to do. And surprise, surprise, I pretty much do the same thing. A lot more of the process happens innately for me, but that doesn't mean it happens every time. And so with a book like this, where I'm not able to work on it every day, I need to kind of take that time to sit there and plan. So the next Friday, Fun Fiction Friday, might just be me sitting here reading my pages and sort of making some plot notes, which is to me just as much fun, because I love the puzzle of a book. I love taking all those pieces and figuring out how to put it together in a really compelling way. I also want to talk about the difference on our break, the difference between All the Light We Cannot See and The Other Emily, even though they're two totally different books. They're two books that I read back to back, and one of the things that I cover on the channel is why a book is a New York Times bestseller. With All the Light We Cannot See, it was clear why this was a New York Times bestseller, despite the fact that it is like a gazillion pages long. I think it is like, I don't know, that's the excerpt in the back. It's like over 1,000, I think. It's a really, really long book. 530. Okay, it felt like a lot more than that because it felt really long. But yeah, that's a big book. I read it on a plane when I had all those delays a couple weeks ago and got stuck here, there, and everywhere. And so I had brought this with me. And I read it and was just so compelled to keep reading that even when I got home, I was like, going to bed early, got to finish the book because I only had like 10 pages left. What I loved about this, and you can see I've marked some things in here that I loved, was the language. Anthony Dare, however you say his name, does a really great job with painting pictures with his words. It's absolutely beautiful, and you read it and you think, oh my gosh, I hope I can write like that someday. Where he lacks, at least in my opinion, is getting into that really deep emotional internal connection with the characters. He has beautiful descriptions, a great plot, but I don't think he delves super deeply into the internal, particularly with the female main character in here. I'm not saying that to criticize the book, because I loved it and I read the whole thing in one day. So yeah, it's just a tiny little criticism. Now with The Other Emily, what kept me hooked with this was the story that his girlfriend, who had disappeared 10 years earlier, all of a sudden seems to have reappeared but hasn't aged a day and is calling herself by a different name. And so to him, this is the other Emily, and he can't figure out why she's here or if she's Emily and what happened and how it got there. This is one of Kuntz's supernatural books. And while I love supernatural suspense, I didn't love this book, but I liked it enough to finish it, which says that there was something there with the storyline that kept me hooked. So I really did want to see how he solved that at the end. I wasn't wild about the way that the ending came about. I really thought that he could have gone in a different direction. But it's his book, not mine, and he's a #1 New York Times bestseller, so who am I to criticize? But the book overall, I didn't think grabbed me and locked me in like a lot of his others have that I've read. I've read a number of his books, and maybe that's why that didn't hit the bestseller list. Maybe not. He had a lot of competition the week that he came out from Stephen King and C.J. Box and Clive Cussler and Kristen Hanna. Lots of really great books that I remember reading back then. And I just saw an ad for this on my Instagram like 6 months ago, so they must have started pushing it again. So that's always kind of interesting to me how publishing works with that. That sometimes if a book doesn't take off because that Tuesday so many other big name authors released books, the publisher will sometimes come back with a known brand or known author, and they'll invest a little money into marketing again, as if the book just came out. And that's basically what they did. This came out March 21st of 2021, and I started seeing these ads 6 months ago, early or halfway through 2023. So obviously the publisher decided to go back and put a little money behind this book. So it was good, but it wasn't my favorite, and it's definitely not going to be the book club book on Circle, because it wasn't at that level where I would feel like we could talk about it. All right, so I think we should do another 10 minutes and write one more section. I did like a couple hundred words that time. I hope you got plenty done, and then I'll come back again. And I think this will be our last sprint, since it's a little quieter today. But keep coming back on Fridays at 4 o'clock, and we'll keep sprinting and writing together. Okay, guys, that was another 10 minutes. I think I got maybe 150, 200 words. Again, it's kind of moving really slow because I'm sort of stuck with the plot, which means I need to print out the book, start reading, and figuring out all of those elements. We will be back next Friday for another live stream, so I hope that you join us. And feel free to go and join the community. Like, I put the link in there in the comments, so you can click on it and join that free community and download the character master plan. And next week, you'll be able to get the plotting master plan and follow along with those series that we're doing on characters and then on plotting. We'll also start talking about something for NaNoWriMo, which starts way sooner, like in 10, 11 days, which is National Novel Writing Month. I feel like I'm way behind the 8 ball here. But if you're doing National Novel Writing Month, let me know, because I would love to do that with you guys this year. So have a great day, and thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week, 4 o'clock, Fun Fiction Fridays. Thank you.